Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel, I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about, some of the things that have been going on in my life. And in today's video, I want to talk about, I don't know, I guess this periodic feeling that I seem to get, like of not feeling that great. And like it's a pattern that I've started to spot. And like basically from listening to podcasts and stuff about our body and things like this, like I realize that it's completely normal for me to get into these periods where I don't feel that great. And basically, like I'm starting to piece it together. Like the more it happens, the more I'm like able to spot it early, like these lumps. And actually, like they align with basically my menstrual cycle. Uh, like it's usually around the last week of the month, and so like basically 10 days to 10 days to 1 week, like 1 week to 10 days before I get my period, and basically I start feeling not that great, and like I feel weaker. Like today I went to the gym and I felt weak, whereas on Thursday, which was 5 days ago, I felt quite strong with the same weight. And that's because basically in our menstrual cycles, basically the first 15 days, or maybe except like starting from day 2 of your menstrual cycle, all the way to day 15, which is the day that human bodies, I mean, female or like, I don't know, female bodied, like female in the sense of not gender identity, but just physical properties. Basically, what happens is that the best days are between day 3 and day 15 to 16, depending on the length of your menstrual cycle. I think mine is like my menstrual cycle is around 30 days, so every 30 days I get my period. Most women it's around like the most common is 28 days, 29, something around that. So like it's completely normal. You just have to figure out what's your menstrual cycle. And basically, like ever since I listened to this podcast, now I'm able to stop to like I'm able to explain why I feel bad some days. Like for example, today, like I just had this feeling out of nowhere, like of feeling quite weak in my body. I mean, quite weak. It's relative, obviously, and basically like not feeling that great mentally. And then I remembered that shit, I'm gonna get my period soon enough. So this I might be in the like time where basically I'm starting to feel like shit because all the way like during the build up to your period, basically you feel worse and worse until the period comes, and then like the first 2 days, 2 to 3 days feel like shit, but then you start feeling good, and then you reach your peak happy feelings around day 15, and I think that coincides with my last day at the gym, where I felt super strong on Thursday. So today is Monday, so that was wait Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, four 4 days ago, 4 to 5 days ago, and that corresponded with the peak. And now I understand why I felt that strong that day. And today I felt kind of weak because I guess it's just kicking off. It's not yet like the week before my period. I think by the end of the week that will be the case. But like today is like I think day 22 out of this month's cycle, and basically like this knowledge that okay, I'm feeling bad because It's like my menstrual cycle is causing my body to like emit hormones and stuff like this. That okay, I'm not feeling bad because of me, but I'm just feeling bad because of my body that's doing its thing. And I felt so relieved that ah, thank God, nothing is wrong with me. It's just that my body works this way, and it was really a relief to get that like realization, like oh maybe I'm not feeling good because of this thing, and it actually helps to know that that's the case because like some days it's just like you feel like shit for no reason at all, and like those are the days that are quite hard for me because I start to doubt myself, I start feeling insecure, I start thinking, oh, people don't like me. That's telling about my approval seeking tendencies. Yeah, it just, I mean, it's not an excuse, obviously, to not get stuff done, but it's like, I don't see it as, oh, I'm on the second half cycle of my period, of my cycle, so I'm not gonna do anything. That's not how I see it at all. Is that like how I see this is okay, I'm trying to do stuff, but because of how my body operates, I feel a bit less on it, a bit less focused, or like my energy is not as high. And I think maybe also the fact that this weekend I was quite social contributed to that because I get super drained from social interactions. Like, I just want to spend like the whole week alone. But yeah, I will after tomorrow because tomorrow having lunch with my friend and mentor and my friend who I've also invited to lunch with us, to have lunch with us. So hopefully these like yesterday and today will be enough for me to recharge my people batteries for tomorrow to be good. And also I was supposed to have dinner tomorrow with my friend, and basically thank God we cancelled because I was kind of like a bit exhausted, like because I just like she's the one that I just saw this weekend, and it's a good thing that she cancelled because she has lots of stuff going on. But I was also planning on canceling because like after like I don't know, I'm feeling a bit drained from social and like of social energy, and I really need to spend uh, some time alone to just think and read and do some of the things that I enjoy doing when I'm on my own. And yeah, uh, and also the other thing is that basically because I was going to have lunch and dinner in Luxembourg, that would mean that I would have had to go to the gym early in the morning, and I didn't feel like it, like going in early in the morning. So that's good because that means that I can go to the gym in the evening tomorrow. So that's good news. Also, one fun thing today. It's 11:47 p.m. So for once, filming this before midnight, but that's just because I've had a long day. I woke up early. I tried to wake up earlier, but I ended up just staying in bed because I was tired. But I woke up relatively early and like I needed to have lots of focus time to really like to finish the section that I needed to finish for the doc that we were reviewing for the women engineering program that I'm a part of. And basically, like before the review meeting with our sponsors, with our executive sponsors that we had this afternoon. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think I basically like the sections that I was responsible for. I'm happy how they turned out. I did quite a lot of work on those today. So yeah, baby steps. I think there were a lot of things that I wanted to improve for like some other sections, but basically some things, like not everything has to be perfect, and basically at some point in time I can start doing that for the whole doc as I build my writing skills. But it was very hard for me to write because basically I was trying to build a good, like a good somewhat of a flow chart in my head of how things would work, and like basically how they could fit into a big plan. And that meant that basically I did not, like, I was not very biased towards action for this one, but ultimately, like, it got done. And I think the quality, like, of those sections that I did uh, turned out as well as I wanted them to turn out. But this is definitely something that I'm learning to be better at. And I've mentioned before that this quarter, or I mean, maybe not this quarter, maybe next quarter, I want to really, or like maybe I guess that would be my goal for the year, is really, really improve my writing ability and my ability to convey ideas in a compelling way. And I also like want to get so good at it that I can do it faster, because the process is honestly super painstaking for me, and it leads to, like, I procrastinate a lot on writing as of now, just because most of the time I feel like I don't have enough information, and most of the time it's because it's true. I mean, not enough information to produce something of the quality that I want it to be. And yeah, depending on the people, um, some people don't like that from me. Like, they find it frustrating, but it's because they, I guess, maybe they're too busy, or like they don't have the patience to try and find the right way of doing things. But yeah, that leads me to actually to this idea of, like, my commitment to doing fewer things but doing them right this year, and focusing on quality and being patient enough with myself to trust that I can deliver on the quality as long as my inputs are there in terms of hours spent thinking on the problem or learning about the problem. And yeah, basically, I thought about this before. I don't remember if I talked about it here yet, but I thought about this idea that, okay, I'm choosing only to focus on a few things, and like basically, I want to do things like the way that you do one thing is how you do everything, okay? From that premise, that, like, it means that anything that you commit to, anything that I commit to, I'm committed to producing to the best quality that I possibly can produce, okay? As a corollary of that, if a task does not require me to like, only requires me to not, like, does not require the best quality out of me, then maybe I'm not the one that should be doing that task. Uh, and it's a good way to make peace with these, like, do lots of things, but at quality, versus doing very few things, but where I'm learning to take quality to the next level with just the amount of inputs that I put in, and just the sheer, I don't know, dedication to whatever it is that I'm trying to accomplish. So yeah, I think yeah, that was something that is easy to say, but much harder to implement in real life, especially if you have a job and you don't work for yourself. And basically, you always have all sorts of people asking you to do all sorts of things, and basically claiming that these things are like top priority, top urgency, but the truth is not everything is. And learning to be okay with that, like the fact that there is an inherent hierarchy in the things that you can choose to do, and it is your job to enforce that hierarchy, to figure out what it is in terms of what's the most important thing, and basically make sure that all of your effort goes into that, regardless of what the outside world is trying to convince you of, because basically everyone has their own agendas, and they will always try to convince you that whatever it is that serves them the most, like whether they do this consciously or unconsciously, like they will always try to convince you that what they're asking you to do, that being the thing that serves them the most, is the best for you. But it's your job, and it's my job as someone who wants to take full ownership and responsibility for the things that I do. Basically, it's my job to figure out what's true from what's not, and basically figure out the best way to allocate my scarce resources, which are time and like attention. I mean, right now it's debatable whether I treat my time as the scarce resource that it is. It's something that I'm working on, but yeah, it's an interesting thing that, like, basically I'm hoping that eventually I will, like, I'm not saying eventually in the sense that I don't have to think about that for now. I'm saying eventually in the sense that I'm putting in the right inputs now, and all I have to do is be patient. Not basically this like, not to confuse patience with inaction. And I think this was mentioned in like one of the podcasts that I listened to not that long ago. I don't remember which one, honestly, but I think it was the Noah Kagan. Yes, yeah. It was that. It's episode 717 on the Tim Ferriss show, and that's the episode where Tim talks to Noah Kagan for like 4 hours. This episode is freaking long. But yeah, if you want, like, actually that's one of the best episodes I've listened to in a long time. It's so like dense, and like not in a bad sense. It's like really helpful. So much so that I started re-listening to it. But basically today I basically instead of re-listening to it, because I don't think I didn't have the mental bandwidth to try to digest what was talked about in the episode. I just listened to some other podcast episodes that were there, not for me to process that information, but mostly to just listen to inspiring people or like some interesting ideas without any pressure to take notes. And that was fun. And it kind of took me out of my little podcast bubble of the few podcasts that I've been listening to. Like lately, basically, I've concentrated all my podcast listening efforts on the Diary of a CEO and the Tim Ferriss show. But today I listened to a variety of podcasts, one of which was Slow Mo, which is the podcast by Mo Gaudat. And actually, it was like the episode that I listened to was amazing. It's episode 282 with Rob Moore, and I think this guy is like a financial, I don't know, content creator. And I've never heard of him before, but I really, really liked it. So much so that I looked him up on Audible. Like, apparently he wrote 19 books, which is insane. And like, he's not even that old. I think he's like 40, which is lots of output. And he has quite an interesting story. But yeah, I can talk more about that another day. Yeah, like, just to give you the TLDR of the interesting story, something that I took away from this podcast is that basically this guy at the age of 26, he was $50,000 like pounds in debt. He was living at his parents' pub, and basically he was entirely dependent on his parents for anything. And this was when he was 26, like almost 27. And basically he decided to change his life, or like his life completely changed when he was 26 and 11 months. And I'm actually younger than that. So that just puts my life into perspective that, okay, you're going to be okay. Things are going to work out. You don't have to get everything right now and early and before 30 and all of this kind of stuff. I trust that you are going to get where you are going to become the person that you aspire to become, as long as you put in the inputs. And lately, like over the past year, I have really been putting in the inputs consistently, not perfectly, but consistently. And that's the most important thing to me. But basically, his life story, like, just to go back to finish his life story, basically, that was his state when he was 26 and 11 months old. And by the age of 31, he became a millionaire. And that's because he chose to turn his life around and basically pursued real estate opportunities. I don't know much more of the story than what he told on the podcast, which was very brief, but I will be reading some more of his stuff. I also subscribe to his podcast. I think it's called Money, but I think he's a bit different on his podcasts than basically on this episode. But yeah, it's just like, I think his ideas are quite interesting. So I really enjoyed the episode with Mo. This episode on Mo's podcast. So yeah, that was something really cool that I listened to today. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about for today. Thanks a lot for tuning in and listening to all of these thoughts, ramblings on various things that I've been thinking about, and various things in my life. So yeah, I really appreciate you being here, and I hope that this, I don't know, helps me grow, my future self, reflect on the past, and yeah, maybe it's somewhat valuable to whoever is listening in today. So really, thank you for being here. So yeah, thanks a lot for tuning tuning in, you can click here to watch my previous video on this channel, so the one right before this one, or you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, night, whichever time of day it is, where you are right now. Bye for now, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye!